Hello and welcome to the Season 3 finale of the Gospel Overgimmicks podcast. Today, I'm going to answer your burning questions. Let's get after it. Hi there. You have tuned in to the final episode of Season 3 of the Gospel Overgimmicks podcast. am still your host, Richard Storm Norman, here to tell you everything I know and some things I highly suspect. So here we are once again at the end of another season. How bittersweet. For any new listeners, let me explain how this came about. I did a YouTube channel, then a year later I started a podcast. They were two separate things entirely, two different. So if you watch the YouTube channel, you got a different topic than you got on the podcast. And I kept it that way for like a year or more. And then it got to where it was just a little bit too overwhelming for me to keep up with. So I merged them together. And I said the first 60 episodes that I did of this podcast, that was season 1. And then we did season 2 from August of last year to December. That was season 2. And then from January to where we are now was season 3. So season 4 will start in August, then we'll run till December. And we do 2 seasons a year that way. And what that does is allows me to take a break. Because I think a lot of people underestimate how much work goes into this. But I get burnt out, tired, I need a break. So I take the month of July off because July is my birthday. And it's in the middle of the year. And then I take December off because it's Christmas time in December. And y'all probably ain't even got time to listen to the podcast in December anyway because you're busy doing Christmas things. So we take December off. So we will be back in August for season 4, and I'll keep y'all posted on that date a little bit later. But with that being said, today I'm going to answer some questions. We did a Q&A episode to finish out the last season, so I thought we'd do it again, see if it worked out any better. And I got some questions, so I have to call that a success. Questions about this, I said y'all can ask me about anything, and y'all certainly did. But then after we get done with the questions, I'm going to do some ministry shout outs and tell everybody, my 180 subscribers. I know 180 subscribers don't actually watch the video, but to the ones that do, I'm going to tell y'all some ministries y'all can check out. People that they shout me out, they support me, they comment on my videos and whatnot. So I want to return the favor today. But there's one more thing we need to do. I'm sorry if I'm making racket. Apparently my headphones are tangled up. Hang on. So what was I saying? There's one more thing we need to do because it wouldn't be an episode without it. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing this fine day? It is Saturday because I recorded this last night and it was an absolute dumpster fire. I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't in a good mood. And I forgot to turn the daggone microphone on for the camera. So I went to edit it. And I was like, maybe if I can turn the volume up when I'm editing it. So I turned the volume all the way up. You still couldn't hear me that well. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just do it again. It'll take away the surprise of picking the Bible winner for the contest. But I just couldn't release that hot garbage. Got the Gospel Overgimmicks coffee cup out for the last episode as well. So, July events I want to talk about. July 4th, I want y'all to have a happy 4th of July since I won't be here. We'll be on break for July, but I hope y'all have a good Independence Day. You see my shirt? And And that's coming up Thursday. That's why I've been working so much overtime at work, because we have a fireworks display at work that pretty much the entire town of Orange Park comes to. So we've been trying to get the property all nice and pretty for that. But and then July 5th is my spiritual birthday, the day after July 4th. I'll be saved 21 years. 21 years I'll be saved. And I took that day off. At least I just requested it off so I could have a 4-day weekend next weekend. But I might do a live video on the Facebook page. I don't know. I've done that before. But we'll see how that turns out. July 10th is then my real birthday. I'll be turning 39. 39. That's why I appreciate Proverbs 9:10 on his YouTube channel the other day. Calling me a young man. I appreciate that, because I don't often feel like a young man anymore, being at middle-aged. So I told y'all, I posted it in the Facebook group about people at my church, Brother Larry and Miss Connie. They got hit head-on by a drunk driver a couple weeks ago, and they're in the hospital in bad shape. They're slowly making some progress, but I'd still appreciate it if y'all could continue to keep them in your prayers. They're the type of people, like, everybody probably has somebody at their church, or at least knows somebody, where if someone came up and said, "Oh, I don't like them," you'd think they were a liar, because how can you not like them? They're nice. They're the nicest people on earth. But continue to keep them in your prayers, and hopefully they make a full recovery. But who knows? It's up to God. Some changes to the podcast. We make changes after every season, but I just wanted to give y'all a heads up. Now, granted, when I say changes, when talking about making changes to the podcast, there's usually things you ain't gonna notice or even care about. But I thought I'd throw them out there anyway. Well, one is that people have been having problems with iTunes. Not me, I haven't been, but other podcasters have told me. iTunes has changed their system to where they don't like you putting the season and episode number. If you ever notice, I always put S3E26 whatever in front of the title. Apparently they don't like that no more. So I've still been doing it, even though I've known about it for a while now, and I haven't had any problems. But what I'm probably going to do is just put the title of the episode, and then in parentheses after where I'll put season 3 episode whatever. So hopefully we can avoid any problems with iTunes. And then the Bible giveaway winner. I already picked it whenever I recorded this last night. So unfortunately, there's no drum roll. There's no excitement. But this is what we're giving away. If you watched the Acts 2 Bible study, you saw what we're giving away. A text-only Bible in top green, cowhide from Church Bible Publishers, a Cruden Concordance from local Church Bible Publishers, and a soul-winning New Testament from Church Bible Publishers. And the winner was, that I picked last night, Michael Hosey. Michael Hosey won the Bible contest out of 4 entrants we had. He won. So I think you won one before, so I got your address. I should have your address on Messenger and whatnot, and I will have the future Miss Storm and Norman get that out to you sometime next, or I guess this week, because this comes out on Monday. Sometime this week we'll get that shipped out to you. So yeah, that's all I got for opening. We might do less Bible studies next season, because I let this Bible study go like a whole month, and only 4 people got in on it. So I think we might just do a Bible giveaway. Did I say Bible study again? But anyway, I think we might do a Bible giveaway for the season premiere maybe, and then maybe we'll do a Bible giveaway for the season finale. We might do it that way. We'll see how it works out. But that's all I got for opening segment. Let's go ahead and get into that question and answer. So the first question comes from Brad737. I don't know if Brad's a pilot and he flies 737s. That'd be cool. But Brad737 asked, "Do you think you'd ever want to be a pastor?" So he said, I've mentioned before how I've preached in church. I've got up and preached on a Sunday night and Wednesday night. And he's curious if I think I'd ever like to be a pastor. So I actually looked into this, a couple years ago when I started going to classes at Liberty, and felt like God was calling me to preach. And I was like, I'm a really, for real, big time introvert. And I'm really socially awkward. Well, y'all think I ain't because y'all watch this video, but keep in mind, I can't see y'all. I can only see this myself in the camera. So I can't see y'all, so it's no problem talking to y'all. But if you were here face to face, it'd be a lot more difficult for me. So I did some research on it and found out there's actually quite a few pastors, percentage-wise, pastors that are introverted. So if God called me to do that, I'd do it. But I don't know. I just don't know if it's for me, because when I say I'm awkward around people, I'm awkward around people. People come up, like, there was a guy at church a couple months ago. He wanted to talk to me about something, spiritual, biblical type thing at church. Because the thing is, when you get up here and you do this and you preach and you teach Sunday school and whatnot, if people will come to you with questions. So he had a question. I tried my best to answer it. I felt like it was horrible because I don't know. I'm like, the things in my head, I don't know how to get them out of my mouth in a way that's not ridiculous. So I don't know if I helped him or not, but it didn't feel like I did. But that's the thing. If I was a pastor, I'd have to do kind of stuff like that all the time, and I'm just not good at communicating with people. You know what I mean? But if God called me to be a pastor, I'd do it. But I don't know if He would. So let's see what the second question is from Bible Believing Christian. She asked two questions that were kind of the same, so we'll put them together. She said, "Did you grow up KJV only, and how did you become KJV only?" So I did grow up King James only. That was the kind of church I was born into and raised at. But if you see my testimony, you notice how I talk about how I got away from God. I got backslid, whatever you want to call it, for a good number of years. And then a guy at work, I was talking about the King James is the real Bible and whatnot. He said, "How do you know you don't like them other translations if you ain't never tried them?" So I started buying them up. I started buying NIVs and ESVs and New King James and all these other translations. I started buying them up, seeing, well, let's take a look at this. So I ended up with, actually got a whole box of them in the hallway there that I'm about to get rid of. But I bought a whole bunch of them and started looking into it. Started being like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this King James thing, maybe they're wrong. Maybe the new translations are just fine. But then, study to show thyself approved. I started looking into it myself. Like, what is their position and what is their position, and which one do I think is the strongest position? And honestly, I think the King James people I think that's the position. When there's all kind of scholarly debates, there's all kind of big fancy words and all this manuscripts and this and that. But what it boils down to for me is I want a whole Bible. I don't want part of a Bible. And that's what you get with new translations. You get part of a Bible. I don't want part of a Bible. The one verse that really stood out to me, and we're going to bring it up on my Olive Tree app. We're going to look it up in here, and I'm going to compare it. And I did this in a video before, if you want to go back and look. KJV versus NIV is the name of that video I did on my channel, if you want to go back and check it out. But let me see. Psalms chapter 10. I'll read you these two verses in the KJV. We actually just read these, I think, on last week's episode. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. For all his enemies he puffeth at them. I don't have the NIV on my olive tree, but I got this ESV on here. So let's read it in the ESV. In the pride of his face the wicked does not seek him. All his thoughts are, there is no God. His ways prosper at all times. Your judgments are on high out of his sight. As for all his foes, he puffs at them. So look at there at verse 5. The KJV says, his ways are always grievous. Grievous. And then verse 5 there in the ESV says, his ways prosper at all times. Prosper and grievous are two totally opposite words. By changing that word from grievous to prosper, it changes the whole meaning of the verse. So that's what I say when I don't want to mess with those new translations anymore. Now, I still got some around here, for reference purposes, but that just bothers me when they change when they change it like that, and when they remove whole verses, like we already know about the verse in Acts, like if you believe in the Son of God, whatnot, and then Acts just completely takes that, or new versions completely take that verse out. I want a whole Bible. I want a whole Bible. I don't want part of a Bible. And that whole manuscript evidence, obviously that's hogwash. Oh, we found manuscripts that are older and they don't have it in there. Well, if they take a verse about the blood of Jesus Christ, and you say, well, the older manuscript didn't have it, well, then that older manuscript must be trash, because that's where they found it. But anyway, that's why I'm King James only. Yes, I was born and raised that way, but I did do my own research into it. I'm not just clinging on to, well, that's what the preacher said. So I did do my own research, and I think the King James is the Word of God. I don't like the new version. Now, like I've said 100 times before, though, if you use the new version, that's between you and God. I'm not gonna club you to death over it. Next question. Let's see if I found it, because my notes fell on the floor. So I was hoping to get a lot of easy questions. I'm hoping y'all give me some easy questions. So this could be a pretty laid back episode. But lo and behold, Proverbs 9:10 had to drop me a hardball. So he asked, who, in your opinion, was Melchizedek? And obviously I ain't never studied this before. So I went and looked at it. I went and read Genesis 14, which is where Melchizedek's first mentioned. I went and read Psalms 110, and I went and read Hebrews 7. And at first, what I was going to say, Melchizedek was the king of Salem. That's who he was. That's what I was going to say. Initially, I was going to say, well, I just don't think there's enough evidence to make any other claims about who he was. But you read the Hebrews 7, it's kind of hard to read Hebrews 7 and not come away with the popular idea is that Melchizedek was pre-incarnate Christ. He was a theophany, if you know what that word means. Christ appearing as a man in the Old Testament. And after reading Hebrews 7, it seems pretty obvious that's what he was. He was Christ, pre-incarnate Christ, showing himself to Abram. So that's what I'm going to go with. It's kind of hard to deny it when you read Hebrews 7. I might change my mind someday. Somebody might show me some new evidence, but I think Hebrews 7 seems to make it pretty clear that he was Jesus, before he was Jesus Christ. Next question is from Gypsy Lane. What are some good Christian books and references? I think this question was asked on the last Q&A, so I think I'm going to approach it differently this time. What I did right here that you can't see out of camera is this is my stack. Whenever I do a Bible study episode, this is kind of my go-to stack here, even though I got plenty of other study Bibles that I'll use if I need to. But this is the basic stack I use And we'll give honorable mention to the Henry Morris Study Bible, because I just got this, so I haven't had it. I got it right when I was finishing up the Acts 2 study we just did. So I haven't really had a chance to use it in a study yet. But I will next time we do one. And of course, I got the official study Bible, one of the official study Bibles of Independent Fundamental Baptist, the Ruckman Reference Bible, of course. Got to have one of them. And a Schofield too, of course. This one I really like. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I use it a lot. This is the Holman KJV Study Bible. And this is, it's got full color pictures, and there's one, I guess. I don't really care about the pictures, but the notes in it are pretty decent, at least from what I found. I haven't come across one yet that made me shake my head. But I use this one pretty regular. And there's two, if I had to pick from this stack of the two I use the most, it'd be this one and this one, the Matthew Henry Study Bible. And this one's got pretty, and I also have his commentary in a single volume. The only thing that not good about this one is that it's in paragraph format. I think it should be illegal for a King James Bible to be in paragraph format myself, but anyway, I'm just using it for the notes anyway. So that's that. And then there's this one I don't use as much as I used to. Now, this is the Thomas Nelson KJV Study Bible. This is the one that used to be the Liberty Annotated. And when I was going to Liberty, I was like, well, I should get the Bible that used to be from my school. But it's got pretty good notes in it too. It's just, there are not a whole lot of them. They don't get too deep in there. And then, of course, I hate to mention it, but I also use the MacArthur Study Bible sometime. Shh, don't tell nobody. But I don't use it for anything other than like historical reference. So that's pretty much what I use for a Bible study. And, sometimes like I'll grab another one if I need it. Yeah. But, and as far as books, I got two I'm reading now called one, How to Teach Dispensational Truth. And, oh yeah, I got Trail of Blood too. That's kind of more of a booklet than a book. And I got Final Authority from Bill Grady. Been reading those. Those are pretty good. I could go on and on about books. I got a bunch I ain't read that I really want to read. But, I read one by R.A. Torrey about prayer that was really good. Of course, it's over there on the shelf somewhere. Also, I've been using, as you just saw, Olive Tree software. I've been trying to get into that again. And I got eSword, so I've not yet really fully figured out how to use that. But that's some of the resources I use. And obviously, Google is your friend. Google is your friend. AV1611.com. I use their dictionary a lot. Because when I look up a word, I'm doing a Bible study or something, I want to look up a word, I want the definition that the King James translators had. So I use AV1611 for that. And finally, Bible believing Christian wants to see the dogs. So I'm going to turn the camera. When I edit this, I'll make it seamless transition for y'all, so y'all don't have to see the bumpy camera work I'm about to do. And I'll show you what the dogs look like. So this one is Coco. She's the one that's always looking out the window. And then Lily is the senior citizen. And I wish I could get them to get up and do something entertaining for y'all, but all they really want to do is lay there. Yep, they're lazy. So that's the dogs, Coco and Lily. That's the ones you always see in the video, mainly Coco, because Lily kind of hangs out on that side of the bed. That's them. I think Coco is like 3 or 4 years old, and Lily is about 8 or 9 years old. So that's them. All right, so that's all the questions we got today. Now we're going to get into some ministry shout-outs. All right, some ministries that I enjoy, and I think you might enjoy too, and they support, me and what I do, and I try to support them and what they do. So I'm going to support them right now by giving them a shout-out. The first one is Bible Believing Christian. She does some pretty good Bible reviews over there on her channel, and she does them pretty regularly too. So if you like Bible reviews like I do, that's a good channel to check out. And I'll try and put links in the description to these different places, different ministries and whatnot, different channels, so on and so forth. And I'll put stuff I don't know up on the screen so you can see it. So the next channel is Gypsy Lane's channel. She's been watching my videos basically since the beginning. I think her channel is called Gypsy Lane Bible Reviews, or Bible Reviews Gypsy Lane. Like I said, I'll put whatever I don't know on the channel here, or on the screen there, so y'all can see it when I'm editing. So she does Bible reviews too, and she lives in Australia. So if you watch her videos, you'll get that cool Australian accent. The next one is Bible Fandom, and that's Michael Hosey, the guy who just won the contest. Michael Hosey's channel. He does Bible reviews as well, and he pretty good editing on his stuff. Pretty good editing, and he's got some pretty good reviews up. An hour-long one on the Ruckman Reference, if you really want to know about the Ruckman Reference Bible before you buy it. That's probably a good sit down and get your cup of coffee and watch his review, and you'll know all you need to know about it before you buy it. And he also has a website, BibleFandom.com. I think that's what it is. Like I said, whenever I say I think that's what it is, it'll pop up on the screen there what it actually is. And Bible Fandom Facebook group, which is pretty fun to be a part of. The next one is Proverbs 9:10, like I was mentioning earlier. Proverbs 9:10. I like the format of his videos. He does some Bible reviews too, like when he's home, but he's a truck driver, so he's always on the road driving his truck and whatnot. And he just turns on the camera like he's going down the road. He just turns on the camera so you can see where he's going, the highway and the traffic and whatnot, and he just tells you what he got out of the Bible. Like he'll talk about something from Book of Psalms or whatnot, and there'll be like 10-15 minute videos, and it's just cool. I like that format. It's unique. I don't know if anybody's thought of that before, but I like the way he does things over there. That's a pretty good idea. And then finally, she didn't submit her stuff. Whenever I asked for y'all to tell me what y'all's ministries were, she didn't say anything. But I follow her on Instagram. I think there's only like a handful of people, like maybe 4 or 5 people I follow on the gospelovergimmicks Instagram. She's one of them. The Word Nerd. I think her name's Andrea. But I want to give her ministry a shout out because I think what she does is pretty cool too. If you're into Bible journaling, which I'm not, I'm not artistically talented like that. But if you're into Bible journaling, and she does this thing called verse mapping, I think is it called. That's pretty cool. So she's on Instagram. That's where I see her. But I know she has a YouTube channel as well. And I'll put all that up on the screen. I'll try and put it in the description because I don't know exactly the name of it. But it's just the Word Nerd. She's the Word Nerd. So that is the shout outs. I got those guys and girls and ladies, whatever. Those guys and gals help me out, so I want to help them out. And we can all just be good Christians and help each other out like we're supposed to. How about that? So that's it for today. It for season 3. I appreciate y'all watching all 26 episodes, if you did, of season 3. And we'll be back, I think it's August 5th. Or August 5th will be the premiere of season 4. Season 4. So I hope you join us. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/gospelovergimmicks. If you want to keep up with what's going on in the month of July when I'm not making podcasts. And also, you can like us on Instagram. Like I was just talking about, Instagram, at gospelovergimmicks over yonder. And I'll post something letting you know when the season premieres come up in case you forget about it. So you can see it on there and you'll be like, oh yeah. Twitter at GXC_ministries. I actually might stop talking about Twitter next season when we end these videos. I might just drop Twitter from the thing entirely. But Twitter at GXC_ministries if you want to follow me on Twitter. If you want to email me, if you got something like an article or something you come across or whatever that you want to, if you think would make it good for something for me to look at for the show, or if you just got a question or you want to know more about how to get saved, gospelovergimmicks@gmail.com. You can email it to me there. Of course, you can always message me on the Gospel Over Gimmicks Facebook page as well if you want to. If you want to become a financial supporter of the ministry, you can do that at patreon.com/gospelovergimmicks. You can donate as little as $1 a month if you want to help support the costs. Like I said, this ain't free. It ain't easy and it ain't free. So if y'all want to help with that part, you can do that. Our patrons so far are Joanna Garrett, Roger Waters, Leanna Williams, and Rusty Williams. And we're going to take that Patreon money next season and we're going to do something cool with it to help somebody out. So I'll keep y'all posted on that as soon as I come up with the idea. But that is it. That is it for today's show. Oh yeah, you can hear us on if you want to listen to the audio of the podcast, you can find it on Spreaker, iTunes, Podcast Addict, and Google Podcasts. If you want to go listen to the audio like I do every week. So that's all I got for y'all. 26 episodes in the books for season number 3. Hope y'all come back and join me for season number 4. And until season number 4, take up your cross, carry on. Beulah land, I'm longing for you.